Thank you for joining us today and welcome back to WAMS Webinar Wednesdays. Today I'm joined by Kathleen Kvitek, WAMS Director of Training, Carlin Smart, Account Manager at NetDocuments, and Mary Bendik, Certified NetDocuments Integrator. She helps firms prepare for and implement NetDocuments. Now for those unfamiliar or those of you just joining our webinars, I'll share a little bit about us. WAMS has been providing law firms and businesses with computer consulting and support services since '74. We continue our reputation for quality and service today by installing and proactively maintaining computer systems, as well as providing technology solutions for hundreds of law firms and businesses. So today we will cover an introduction to NetDocuments from Carlin, and then Kathleen will go ahead and hop in and show us a demo of NetDocuments, and you can kind of see what it looks like. And then Mary will go ahead and explain the technical implementation as well as what you need to do to get started. And then Kathleen will go ahead and explain the training process. Please send all questions to info@wamsinc.com and we will get back to you at our earliest availability. So let's get started. We'll go ahead and pass it over to Carlin.
Okay, so NetDocuments is a true cloud solution for documents and email management built specifically for the legal industry. And so a lot of the law firms that I work with mention lost time, looking for documents, trying to track things down, and they struggle to have everyone at the firm on the same page without that uniformity that you get in a true document management system. And so some of the main benefits to using NetDocuments, obviously with it being in the legal industry, number one pillar that we knew we really had to nail was the security aspect of things. So it's a safe, encrypted solution. It's also been proven. So NetDocuments has been around since 1999. There are tools that allow you to work offline without an internet connection. Very enterprise standard search tools that let you search through your entire repository and retrieve documents quickly. And then the ready aspect, letting each user work how they want to, whether it's through the browser or through Microsoft's applications with the integration. And so now we'll jump into a little bit of those further. As far as the certifications and attestations that NetDocuments goes out and gets for both the platform and the data centers, those are basically just inherited to you as you become customers of NetDocuments. So if you ever need to produce these in an audit or just curious and wanting to look through them and receive them, we can just pass them right along as you get up and implemented. Again, a lot of the law firms that use NetDocuments are larger law firms, but it's also extremely scalable and elastic, right? And so even solo practitioners or smaller law firms use get the exact same functionality, security, and solution that a lot of these higher profile law firms are using. So it really levels the playing field in that sense. And then just lastly here, like we talked about, the ready aspect of NetDocuments lets, when you get implemented, which we'll cover a little later on, lets each user go in and interact with the system how they want to. And it also makes it really easy to train and adopt the software, right? If I don't have to change the way I work, but I can interact and use the system with what I'm used to doing right now, then it promotes that cohesiveness throughout the firm. So now I'm going to turn the time over to Kathleen, and she will take us through a good general overview of NetDocuments.
Hey, thank you, Carlin. All right, what I'm looking at right now is a NetDocuments homepage. So as Carlin said, this is browser-based. So I'm on a web page looking at our demo homepage, which is showing me shortcuts to matters and documents that are important to me. So this is a really great feature that I focus on when teaching users NetDocuments, is that each of you will have your own customizable homepage. So every time you start up NetDocuments, you can see matters and documents that you have chosen to make favorites, and then you can organize them. So for example, you'll see over here that we have a sample section here of project-related documents, documents that we've created and have decided upon our forms and templates. Even a section here where we have saved searches. So a major benefit of working with NetDocuments and a document management system is the searching capabilities. So with NetDocuments, you can search for documents and then save them, and you save the searches and then make them a favorite. So over here on the left-hand side, I have favorite workspaces, which basically means favorite matters. I'm going to click on our Ned Jackson matter, and you're going to see right here from the favorites, it will take me to the Ned Jackson workspace matter. Now I'm looking at some of those documents, and I'll talk a little bit more about the workspace view and what you're seeing right now. But I want to point out to you that although I can go home right here to get back to my home page, you can always click your firm logo, which should appear in the upper left-hand corner of your NetDocuments page. So if I click on the logo, it quickly takes me back to the home page. So I can choose to go to another matter, or I can choose to click on and go into a specific document that I have favorited. So this is one really unique and great feature of NetDocuments that I encourage users to customize to make the experience of using NetDocuments more convenient. Now, if you want to get to a matter and you have not put it on your home page, you always have the Go to a Client, which is in the upper left-hand corner and is an orange button. So I'm going to click on this and talk to you about all the really convenient ways that you can get to a matter. So you can see I can look up by client and matter. I can look up by client number. So in this case, 9006 is the Ned Jackson client. If I type that in, it'll pop up. But if you have a matter with a unique enough name, in other words, you're not looking for the Ned Jackson general matter, if you're looking for the Ned Jackson court decision appeal, over here in matter, I can type in court, and it will pop up with any matter that contains the word court or decision if I type in decision. So you don't even have to start at the client level in order to find a specific matter if the name is unique enough. So the other option I have is that I can go ahead and look up through a list. So I can click the client lookup button here, and I can see all of the clients that have been set up for my firm, select the client, and then select the matter. But you do not have to do a lookup because you can see how convenient it is to type in either the client name, the matter name, or the number. So let's go ahead and look up the Ned Jackson client again. And for the matter, now if I want to see all of the matters that have been added for Ned Jackson, I click over here and I would select all of the matters. In this case, there's just the one for our demonstration, but they would all be listed. So we're going to just go ahead and select our Ned Jackson shortcut from the favorites. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a client workspace. So right now what I have is the client workspace page broken down by document type, showing me a few of the documents in each of the document types. Some people find this view to be a little bit busy, so there is a condensed view or collapsed view, which I'm going to click on right now, and what you see is that within the Ned Jackson matter, these are the different categories, document types, where people have so far saved documents to. So if you want to look at a specific category, like if I want to see just the documents that have been saved to the motions category, I'll click directly on motions. It shows me the list of those items, and then I can see just those 5 individual documents. Because this is a browser, if I want to go back, I can also use the back button to go back to where I was before. So this will take me back, and then if I wanted to go into the trial preparation documents and see just those, I have these to list by and so on. I can also click back to just get directly back to the Ned Jackson workspace homepage. Let's click on correspondence here, and here we have for Word documents. Notice that one of these documents has an orange star. So this is a document that has been favorited. Anytime you see a gray star, if you click it, you can make that a favorite, and then it will show up on your home page. And once it shows up in either favorite items or favorite workspaces, you can then drag the item to one of the categories that you have customized if you don't want it to just sit in the generic favorite items and favorite workspaces. So let's go back into the Ned Jackson matter. We'll go back to the correspondence documents, and I'm going to this time check the box next to one of the documents. Now, the reason for checking a box next to a document as opposed to clicking on a document is that single clicking on a document name will actually open that document up in the application where it was created. If I check the box next to it, I have a panel on the right-hand side which allows me to see details about the document and how it was saved. And I also have the ability to preview the document so I can see what's in the document without actually opening it. This is a major time saver and a great feature that is part of NetDocuments because you don't have to spend a lot of time opening and closing documents to find the one that you might be looking for. Another great feature of NetDocuments that I want to demonstrate to you is the ability to search within the entire document repository, your entire database, or within a specific matter. So being able to search through your entire firm repository, your entire firm document database is a really convenient and great feature of NetDocuments. You always have the search box available to you up top, and it tells you where you're going to be searching. So right now, because I'm on the Ned Jackson matter, I will be searching within just Ned Jackson. Now I can do a global search, which I'll show you in just a minute, but right now, if I were to start by searching for the word agreement, what I'm going to see right now is that all the documents within the entire Ned Jackson matter, regardless of what document type it was saved to, are going to appear if the word agreement shows up in the document name. If I go back up to the top, and I choose to search by agreement, and I choose everything, it's going to search all of Ned Jackson Court Decision Appeal for the word agreement, whether it appears in the document name or if it appears in the actual body of the document. And you're seeing a little bit of a snippet. Now I'm going to show you another demonstration, a more global search. So two quick things that are helpful to know. As you know, and as I've mentioned already, when you click your firm logo, it takes you back to your home page. And when you're on your home page, the search automatically, by default, is going to search the entire firm repository, all documents. So I can do the exact same search that I just did, but instead of narrowing it down just to the Ned Jackson matter, I can search the entire database. I can also click the ellipses button here at any time, no matter where you are in NetDocuments, and it will take you to the advanced search page. If you need to, you can clear the fields to start fresh. So if I right now click into everything and type in motion as an example, I'm going to type for the word motion, which is not a realistic search, but it's for demonstration purposes. I want to point this out to you. I'm now searching the entire firm database for any document that contains the word motion, whether it appear in the name of the document or whether it appear in the body of the document. Now, something more realistic is, let's go back and do another full text search. In everything, we're going to put a phrase in, and we're going to put it in quotes. So we're going to put in motion for summary judgment, and you'll notice I've done this before, so it's already giving me the suggestion here. I put it in quotes so that it searches for the keywords as a phrase and not as individual words. So we'll go ahead and click on search. And again, we're going to get the snippets of the document that contain the phrase motion for summary judgment. I can click the checkbox so that I have the ability to preview what's in those documents. And then, in addition, you have a feature that most document managements do not have, but something NetDocuments does, is that within the preview, you can very easily and very quickly click the arrow to the right, which will navigate you through the document and show you all the places where that phrase appears without having to actually open it in its native application. Another key feature that's really useful is the ability to filter your search. Instead of having to go back and re-perform your global search, you can go over here, we'll open up the profile options, and you can narrow your search down right now through these filters. For example, I can narrow down by file extension. So if I want to see documents that are only PDFs, I can choose PDF and apply. And now my search is narrowed down only to PDFs. So I'd like to ask Carlin to talk for a minute about the NetDocuments content crawler and the ability to search for documents that are PDFs and the text within them.
Of course. So thanks, Kathleen. Starting last fall, a lot of our customers were asking for a tool that would allow them to go in, just like Docs Corp's content crawler does, that goes in and OCRs all of the PDFs and image-based files. And so rather than reinventing the wheel and creating our own, we knew it was already a really revered product. And so through a strategic relationship with them, we now have that same content crawler built into the repository through this OCR tool. It is an add-on, but it's just a few dollars. And most of the firms that I've worked with have opted into it just because, like we say, it takes away those extra steps that you would commonly go through to scan something in and have something be OCR searchable. Automatically, it will, all the documents you bring over in the migration would be text searchable. And then everything going forward, there's also an active OCR tool that's automatically OCRing those for you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for adding that, Carlin. I really appreciate it. Now, before we go any further, you've seen some of the interface working from the web and using NetDocuments, but I want to just show you how you can quickly and easily save a document in NetDocuments. So I'm going to pop over here to Microsoft Word, and we'll just put together a little sample document with some text in it. And then we're going to go up here to the Save button. And it's set up so that when I click on Save, it automatically allows me to choose NetDocuments instead of having to click 4 or 5 times. And then the database that we're using, the firm that we're using as our sample today, is the MacArthur database. So yours would probably only have one database here. You wouldn't have to select. You could have more than one cabinet, also known as a database. And then what I would do is I would choose probably either recents or favorites. In this case, we already know that the Ned Jackson matter we've been using today is a favorite. So we're going to go ahead and choose Ned Jackson as our favorite. Oh, and you know what? I'm in financial documents. I really need to be in legal documents. So we're going to choose the legal documents cabinet, and we're going to go to favorite workspaces. And here's the Ned Jackson court decision. We're going to click on that. We can choose from one of the existing document types that's already been used in this matter, or we can come over here. You can see it says click to edit, and it's red. And the reason why it's red is that is what the firm has determined is a required field. I cannot save this document without putting in a document type. So I could go and look through a list of document types that have been set up. I can select a document type that's already been utilized. So in this case, I've decided that I'm going to save this as correspondence. The author is a field that I am a big proponent of having as a required field. I find that to be a useful feature, but you do not have to have author as a required field. So fields that you could enter information into but have not been set up as a required field are blue. So that's why the author is blue right here. You have other fields that you can add. This would be something that you could customize, and Mary will talk about that a little bit maybe during the process of working with a client to get NetDocuments setup, but comments, contract expiration, renewal date, these are just different example fields that the firm could have. Now we're going to name our document, and then we're going to save that document. And now it's saved in NetDocuments. It's available to me automatically and easily in my NetDocuments matter. When you create a document in NetDocuments, it's automatically considered version 1. If you edit that document and you save that document, it is still considered version 1. However, document management systems such as NetDocuments often have a feature, and NetDocuments is extremely easy to use, that allows you to create document versions, and then it helps you control those versions and make sure you're always working with the most current version of a document. So the way to create a document version is to have a document open that's already saved in NetDocuments, which you can see up top here, and you know that I just already saved this. I'm going to choose Save As. And by default, it assumes I want to save this as a new version. Now, just as quickly as that, I can click on Save, and I now have my prior version saved, and any new text I add now is part of the new version. So I have my prior version, and then I have my document with my changes and additions. I'm going to save this document and close it, and then we're going to go back over into NetDocuments just to look at the NetDocuments on the browser page. Although I could simply go to Open and I would be able to open my document right from here, but I want to demonstrate to you something that's really easy to use with NetDocuments. And we'll pop back over to our browser here. And I'm going to go to my home page, and I'm going to go back over to Ned Jackson. There's many ways to go about doing this, but I'm just showing you again how quickly it is to get back to that Ned Jackson matter and correspondence. And now I've gone into Ned Jackson correspondence. There's my Kathleen sample doc, and you'll notice that it says V2. That's because I've created 2 versions of this document. The amended and restated agreement here has 4 versions. This sublease has 3 versions. To see prior versions, you simply click on the link, and it brings up a box that shows you all the prior versions of the document, showing you which one is the official version, allowing you to open prior versions, but also keeping you straight on what is the most current version of the document. And that is something that is very difficult to accomplish without a document management system, and NetDocuments takes care of that option to make it very easy for the users. So one of the last topics that I am personally going to share with you today is going to be how NetDocuments is integrated with Outlook. So I'm going to pop over to Outlook right now, and you're going to see immediately on the screen here, you have a panel that's going to allow you to save documents with a single click to a matter. So the way that this works is you select an email, and NetDocuments over time, as you save emails, is going to get smarter and smarter, and it's going to suggest for you the client, the matter, and the location for you to save the document. So if you have an email message and a suggestion that you want to save the email to, you simply click the checkbox, and then when you move your mouse away from that email, it is saved to that matter. Now there are several other options we can set up, but in a nutshell, that's how this works. This is called ND Mail, and it makes saving emails to the document management system truly as easy as a single click. There's also another option available to you in NetDocuments for saving emails, which is called ND Save. This brings up a dialog box, which is quite similar to the one that you used when you save a document, but this one is very useful for saving emails with multiple attachments. It gives you a document, or a dialog box rather, with many options for saving the email and saving attachments and doing so kind of in a really organized but easy to use dialog box. Instead of opening attachments one at a time and then saving them, you can use this interface to select attachments and then save them through this dialog box. So the difference then between ND Mail and ND Save is ND Mail is truly a single click, save the email and be done with it, whereas ND Save is a dialog box with an interface that will help you save emails and attachments with more detail. So I'm going to talk to you about using ND Attach to attach a document. I'm going to click this button here, and immediately it's going to take me to my recent documents. There are many other ways to select a document through this dialog box, but if you have recently worked on a document, it'll be right here for you. You can single click on that document, and you can choose to make that document attached as a copy. That's where you would select attachment, or a link. In this instance, a link is going to be an internal link. So one of the users within the firm only would be able to open this document as a link directly from NetDocuments. So instead of having to launch NetDocuments and then do a search for the document, you can send someone a link to the document within your firm or organization, and they can open it right up from the email message. So I'm going to choose both. I'm going to select Insert both as an attachment and a link. Here's your typical Microsoft Word document attachment, as if you were sending this to somebody outside of the firm. And if you were sending this to somebody within the firm, you're going to see Kathleen's sample doc. I can click open, and that would open it up right directly into NetDocuments. One other final feature that I want to demonstrate to you today that's very useful and is part of NetDocuments is the ability to convert a Word document that you've attached as a PDF right here within the email, kind of on the fly, as I call it. So I'll click Edit, and I bring up this dialog box here. I check the box, and it's going to take my Word document and convert it to PDF right here within my email message. I don't have to jump through hoops to create a PDF and then save it. It's just converting the attachment that was a Word document to a PDF. Your original document is still intact in NetDocuments as a Word document. Okay, so now that I've demonstrated to you how you can use ND Mail, ND Save, and ND Attach, I'd like to have Carlin spend a minute talking to you about using NetDocuments outside of your firm on mobile devices, and also a word on whether you can and how you might be able to save emails from a mobile device to NetDocuments.
Perfect. Thank you, Kathleen. Yeah, it's becoming more and more common that attorneys and paralegals and everyone at a law firm is wanting to access documents on the go, right? And so we recognize that, and in NetDocuments, there are mobile applications for both iOS and Android that let you access and have the exact same functionality that Kathleen has showed us in the demo today, and also from the Outlook application on your mobile device, you can file a email directly from your phone into NetDocuments as well. And so we really take that mobility aspect without having to sacrifice any of the security and let you have all the same benefits whether you're at the office or on the road. So now we are going to turn the time over to Mary, who is going to explain a little more on the side of collaboration and how that is done in NetDocuments.
Okay, Carlin, thank you. Today I'm going to talk about the shared space technology within NetDocs, and you can put a collection of documents into a shared space and share that with your client externally. It's very simple to create. You simply go to the Workspace, and then you simply come here and choose Add Shared Space. You then give the shared space a name. Now you can see we have a shared space here on this Ned Jackson Workspace. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And now you can see there's a list of documents that were put into the shared space. You can simply use copy or move to add documents into the shared space, and you have the ability to upload documents that are external from the document management system. Once you have the collection of documents in the shared space, you can use these options over here to organize your documents. the system has the ability for you to add sections, and you can also move the sections up and down between the documents in order to organize the information. It makes very nice organization for your client to receive the information at any time. Things can be moved anywhere on the workspace or shared space in any order that you would like. Once you have your shared space in order, you can then share it with people externally. It's very simple to add a user. You simply click add, you put in their email address, and then you select the person, and then you can grant them rights. There are different levels of rights. View is the lowest level, view access. View share, meaning they could share the shared space with someone else or share a document via email. We then have view edit, which would give the person the ability to come into the shared space and make changes, and then view edit share. Most people don't give the administrative access, but that would give you the ability to grant other people access to the shared space. Once you grant the person access to the shared space, you can simply email them a link. When they receive the link, they click on the email link, it will ask them for a password, and then it will take them into the shared space. Based on the rights that you give the user, you can see simply clicking the arrow next to the document will give them all of the document management capabilities based on the access control that you give them. The other thing is, if you don't like looking at the workspace in this view, you can switch to a list view, and this then would give you the preview and the detail capabilities that Kathleen shared with you earlier, where then you have all of your options available over here. Okay, so next we're going to talk about deliver a secure link and the difference between using that versus using the shared space client portal technology. On any workspace or even under recent documents, you can go to a list view and the system will then display for you a list of documents. At any time, you can check off one or many documents, and then you can use this feature under more called Deliver a Secure Link. And so here I'm going to select that option, which then gives you the ability to assign a password to the collection of documents that you want to email to somebody outside of the firm. You can then choose to lock the versions before sending them. And then you can also set an expiration date. The default is 30 days, but you can make it less if you would like. And then the other alternative is to allow the person to download the document to their local computer or to a device, and or uncheck that so they can only view the document. Based on the selections that you choose is what the person will see. When they receive the secure link, it will say view only, or it will say view and download. Here then you address the email to the recipients, one or many, and then from here you can change the subject, add to it. I like the ability you have here to send a copy to yourself so that you can see how the contact that you're sending outside of the firm receives it in case they call and have questions. You can also get a notification of when the person accesses the link. You simply type in your email address, it tells you what documents you're delivering, and then you click send. So the difference between sending and delivering a secure link is the user has the ability to view or download the information, whereas coming back here to the shared space, basically you have the ability to give the person more rights and grant them rights to edit the document, share the document, and organize the information.
Thank you very much, Mary, for that explanation. And then I'd also like for you to please address how a client would get started and a little bit about your process and the technical implementation.
Okay. The first thing that we do is we send you an introduction questionnaire and have a meeting with you about what the firm currently has from a software and hardware perspective. We also want to know how many users will be using the system, what type of scanners you have, if you want integration with your billing system, are you coming from an existing document management system, or do you have a shared drive with a folder-based structure? We also want to know what your internet speeds are. So this questionnaire really gives us the background of your firm and what your needs are, and then from there we can build what is called a project plan estimate. Now, typically the project plan estimate includes the different bulleted items that you see here. The first meeting consists of the planning meeting, where we configure the system, and when we configure the system, that's where we set up the different cabinets that you might need within the firm. We teach you how to add users and groups and set up security. We also then build your typical lookup tables for document management, but like Kathleen said earlier, you may have some other profile tags that you want to add, like status and beyond client matter, document type, and author. Of course, a comments field, and then any other profile tags that you would want to capture based on particular practice areas. So within that planning meeting, we do video the meeting. We also provide you with documentation. And so when you need to set up another cabinet or different lookup tables, you have all of the information that you need and can replay that at any time. Once the system is configured, the next meeting is to have a test conversion meeting. This is where we will export metadata from your document management system using some of the document management system export utilities and or one of our SQL statements that we have to pull out that information. If it's a folder-based system, we have a utility to run on the folder-based system so that we can set it up and map it to the NetDocuments configuration. Once we are finished with the test conversion meeting, we then have data in the system. We then review that with you and make any changes to the configuration and or we're ready to go. And at that point, we have a training session on how to configure the PCs with all of the NetDocument integrations. For instance, ND Mail, like Kathleen showed you before, ND Office, how easy it is to save a document from Microsoft Word. From there, then, Kathleen would be providing training for all of the users, and then after the training is done, we would decide when you want your final conversion to take place. The final conversion typically takes place over a weekend, and then Monday we go live, where Kathleen then would come on site and provide floor support.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for the information on the technical side and the implementation of NetDocuments. I'm just going to speak briefly to you on the training process. So one of the things that we do is we really customize and tailor the training and the support process for each of our clients. There's really no one cookie cutter way of providing training and support. I do have to admit that I like to do training on site, and so one of the things that I'll do is I'll work with the firm administration on what works best for your firm. Would it be best to have every user sitting at a computer hands-on in a small training room environment? Or would a demonstration by me only while users sit and watch and take notes? That might be what works better for you. We can break classes down by the type and need of the user of NetDocuments. So it's really just part of the entire planning process that the training, it really be planned out the way your firm would best handle it. And once the training takes place, then as Mary said, usually the cutover takes place over a weekend, and then on Monday I would be available. At least on Monday we would potentially plan more support days, but at minimum on Monday I would be available all day on your go live day to walk around and answer questions and direct any technical questions to Mary or anybody who might be on site with your firm who handles technical questions. So I would walk around just helping users get accustomed to NetDocuments and help them remember things that were covered in training, or show them options that maybe weren't covered in training but would be useful for them. So that's really just how we handle our training, and the important thing to take away from this is really that it's tailored to your firm and your firm's needs.
Thank you, Kathleen. And so if this was helpful and or you're interested in some other training, Kathleen provides training both remotely or in-house. These can be group sessions or one-on-one. We offer total customization to your needs. And we can train you on general software, legal software, custom macro packages, Microsoft Office, document management systems, and of course, security training. And if you're interested to know a little bit more about what WAMS can do to make your IT solution the best it can be, we offer managed services, cloud services, projects and consulting, security auditing and implementation, disaster recovery, and training. We can be reached at 800-421-7151, and you can log on to wamsinc.com to learn more. Once again, if you have any questions, please email info@wamsinc.com and we will get back to you promptly. And thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you next time.